do some movements and training. This is amazing, a 40-pound vest. I can only imagine if it was 100 pounds, but it makes me want to do some movements and training.
Top of the morning, fight fans. This is Kurt Taville with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao states that he told Crawford's promoter that I want $40 million. According to the 8th Division World Champion, Manny Pacquiao, he's ready to fight anyone with a world title. Pacquiao, nearly 43 years of age, was recently stripped away with his WBA welterweight title due to inactivity. The Filipino superstar has been out of the ring since July of 2019, when he won a 12-round split decision over Keith one-time Thurman to capture that WBA super. The WBA made Pacquiao a champion, or the champion, in recess, while evaluating Yordenis Ugas to the position of full champion. Pacquiao claims that he spoke with top-ranked CEO Bob Arum about the possibility of fighting the WBO champion Terence Crawford. However, Pacquiao wants a hefty sum of money. Pacquiao says, I like to fight someone with the title. We told Bob I get 40 million and Crawford gets 10. I will fight anybody, you know me. I don't back away from any challenge and bring them on. Pacquiao says that he's also willing to face WBC and IBF welterweight champion Errol Spence, and four-division champion Mikey Garcia was another name mentioned as a possible opponent. Now, let's counterpunch. Manny Pacquiao wants $40 million. $40 million. Okay, that's twice as much as the money that he wanted before, because you know he wanted a hefty $20 million to fight Terence Crawford when he was on that side of the street, on that platform with Top Rank, okay, with Bob Arum, Uncle Bob, right? But why 40 million? I know it's doubled, but why? You know, let's think about 40 million for a minute. Floyd Mayweather. We offered him $40 million, you know, 20 before the fight and 20 right after the fight. So it could be a situation where you're dealing with that type of situation, but to double up the amount of money to fight Terence Crawford, I think he wants that because 20 million is a hefty amount, because there's been a long time since Manny made $20 million. You know, maybe with the pay-per-view stuff, maybe, but a hefty sum of $20 million, okay, a guarantee, that's a lot of money, okay, even for Manny Pacquiao these days, being in his 40s, wanting 40 million, but even just wanting 20 million if we go back, and then Bob didn't want to pay that. So what you think Bob is going to do when he hears this shit? We'll never pay Manny Pacquiao 40 million to fight a fighter that I think I'm overpaying. So look, if this isn't a price out, I don't know what is. But I can definitely tell you this, price out or not, Manny Pacquiao wants that money because he figures this would be probably the biggest and last challenge that he really will face. He knew Terence Crawford was a challenge back then. He knew the capabilities. He knew the dangers. That's why he wanted $20 million. Okay, he didn't get that amount of money for a long time, people. Okay, so I have to reiterate, that's a lot of money to fight one guy that nobody else seems to want to fight. And I say nobody else, I mean other champions, and there's only really one other champion, Yordenis Ugas. I don't doubt he wants to fight Terence Crawford, but you know, that side of the street thing is sort of difficult, you know, but because I think Sean Porter wants to fight him, and that's another video. But with Manny Pacquiao, I think he's looking at Terence Crawford and he wants $40 million because he thinks he's twice as dangerous than he was then. Okay, and then Manny, you know, is older and he's up in age, so there's a better chance that he will be beat now than then. And there was no guarantee that he was going to beat Manny or Terence Crawford then when he asked for that $20 million. That might be the reason he asked for it. Okay, this isn't a Juan Manuel Marquez. This isn't a man with a country behind him like Mr. Dynamite, right? He's not that type of dude. He is a guy that keeps his head down, that doesn't run from fights, but wants the best fights because he's reviewed as the best in the world. Why not? You know, if I were him, I would want the same thing. I would do it a different way. I would do it without Bob Arum, but it is what it is. You know, Bob Arum is supposedly overpaying him. You know, and I just think it's strange at this point. Now, another counterpunch I want to lay on you guys is he's willing to fight anybody, right? He's willing to also fight IBF and WBC welterweight champ Errol the Truth Spence. Now, check this out. What are the odds of him getting $40 million for fighting Errol Spence? 0 to none, because he's not going to ask for that much money to fight Errol the Truth Spence. Okay? That's why. That's why you think he wants that amount of money for only Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford, he's only a single belt holder. Hell, as of a few weeks ago, he was a WBA super, right? Of course, all those other divisions and champions and things of the yesteryear, but we're talking about right now. And right now, Terence Crawford only has one belt, right? So why are you wanting $40 million for that guy? But then, you know, we don't know how much he would want for Errol Spence, but I doubt it would be $40 million. That's a lot of money for one guy. So there might be some concern on the behalf of Manny Pacquiao about Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford might be the reincarnation of himself, of that 2008 reincarnation of himself when he stopped and made De La Hoya quit on the stool and never return. He quit forever. He was never back. He's thinking about coming back now. But, because, you know, Oscar's probably thinking, you know, if Mike can do it and all the coke he snorted, I can do it too. You know what I mean? But Manny Pacquiao retired that man. That's the point. And I think Manny discerns that if he gets in there with somebody like Terence Crawford will be that guy that will end up walking away with that torch that he once had that shined ever so bright, right? So I think it's a situation where Manny knows he's getting older. Manny knows he wants to get paid, and that is his final offer. Okay, or that's his asking price for right now. But you guys tell me what you think about Manny Pacquiao wanting $40 million to fight Terence Bud Crawford. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunching. Peace.